there was a wire which was lying in, and what Mohan did was he formed a square out of this wire. Okay, and the side of the square when he formed this wire was 20 centimeter. Now, what I was told was that if this wire is to be used to form a rectangle of length of, let's say, 25 centimeter, what will be the breadth? Also find out whose area is greater, square or rectangle. Okay, now the first thing I need to note here is that we know that the length of the square is 20 meter. Okay, so if I were to find out what is the total length of this wire which has been folded into a square, I need to find out the perimeter of the square, because the length of this wire is this much plus this plus this plus this. And we know that perimeter of a square is equal to 4 times the length, is equal to 4 into 20 is equal to 80 centimeter. Now we know with this for sure that you've learned this in your earlier classes, and in the earlier videos also this is available, that perimeter of a square is 4 times its length. We know that the length is 20, so the total length of the wire is 80 centimeter. Now, even if I twist it and make a rectangle out of it, the total length would remain 80 centimeter only. What I have also been told is that the length of the rectangle is 25 centimeter. Okay. Now again, as you start molding and folding this wire, this can be used to form a rectangle, but the perimeter of the rectangle, which is going to be covered by this particular wire, has to be equal to 80 centimeter, because that's the length of the wire that we have. So perimeter of a rectangle, we all know, is equal to 2 times the length plus the breadth. We know that the perimeter of rectangle has to be 80 centimeter. Why? Because that's the length of the wire, is equal to 2 times, and what is the length of the rectangle? That is 25 centimeter plus the breadth. And that's what we need to find out. We need to find out what is the breadth of the rectangle. So I'm just switching these two here. 2 times 25 will give me 50. 2 into b will give me 2b, and this is equal to 80 centimeter. Now if I subtract 50 from both sides, or rather let's do it simply, 2b is equal to 80. Once this moves in, the sign changes. 80 minus 50 is equal to 30 centimeter, or breadth is equal to 30 divided by 2 is equal to 15 centimeter. So I've got the breadth of the rectangle. So the first part of the problem is resolved. Let's move on to the second part. The second part says, also find out whose area is greater, square or rectangle. Let me use a different color. so that there is no confusion whatsoever. Now we know that the area of square is equal to side square. Okay, and what's the side? It is 20 centimeter, so 400 centimeter square. Also, the area of rectangle is equal to the length into breadth is equal to 25 into 15, and this will give me 375 centimeters square. So clearly the area of the square is more than the area of the rectangle, right? So that's how basically you solve problems like this, where you have something on the square and something on the rectangle.